So good evening, sessionistas and photogs. Welcome to Photogs Life. My name is Chris Calumbiran and I'm the chief photographer and founder of Chris Calumbiran FZE. If you are new to this channel, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. If you find this vlog interesting, share it with your colleagues, share it with your friends. I have created this playlist for you guys all about headshots. This is for us to learn the importance of having a headshot done properly by a professional photographer like us. This opens opportunity for us to have a business together, and it also will help you and your business represent itself on the web and also through social media, which is a very valuable asset to have. So this research material came from digital-photography-school.com. It is written by Mr. Sean Gannon, and the topic is 10 tips for photographing a great headshot. So he's basically talking to photographers about this topic. So let's start. Number 1, have a pre-session consultation. It's very important because you would basically, during this time, you will clear all the expectations between you and your client. You can clear the rates, you can clear how you work with, you can clear what kind of output they are expecting from you, and also you can learn a lot from your client with regards with the shoot, prior to the shoot, because this is your opportunity to build that rapport, so that during the shoot you already have established that, and it's gonna be easier for you to pull out a great look during the shot. Number 2, help choose the right clothes. Help your clients choose the right clothes. When you have this bank of ideas, or if you have the bank of knowledge from all the headshot session that you have done, you definitely might have an idea how you will be able to give advice to your client or to your subject. During this pre-consultation meeting also, you can also clear out what kind of clothes it is best for your client to wear during the session. Because you definitely need to set a limited time, so that you will not spend or you're not waste time creating that headshot. You will build the rapport, you will build the confidence, and you will build the momentum towards that great headshot, towards a great session. That's number 2. Help them choose the right clothes. Number 3, create separation from the background. It is imperative for us to make our subject pop out from the image. It's either contrast, it's either building the highlights on the hairlight or the backlight or the rim light on the edge of your clients. Also, trying to think of how complementary colors work. Also, how you would be able to place the client that she will be able to pop out from the color, that she will stand out. You can also work on the bouquet. It is very important for that separation to happen, so that the image will stand out and your client will be the hero or the subject of that image, that great image that you are creating. That is number 3. Create a separation between your client, or between the subject and the background. Number 4, starting the session. When you start the session right, you will start the session with good positive energy. Try to probably heat the kettle, serve some drinks, have some snacks, play a really good music, order really good food for your client, so that the rapport will be there, and there will be subtle techniques that you would be able to start really great during a headshot session, or during whatever session it may be, whoever client that you may have. It is very, it is a great trick for you to be prepared before the shoot. When you're starting a shoot, try to have some snacks, fruits, drinks for your client when they arrive. make sure that your studio is really nice and clean. Try to have a nice music depending on what kind of playlist your client would prefer listening to. There are so many subtle hints or subtle techniques that you can create so that you will set the mood to start up right the photo shoot session. Number 5, silly faces. Oh my god, you can start doing silly faces because in the session you have to build rapport. The best thing to build rapport with is laughter or humor. Doing silly faces, why not? And then suddenly you would be able to connect to that subject in a less serious environment, so that you can switch to serious, to gullible, to approachable, confident. You really want to have those kind of interaction with your client, starting with silly faces. That's number 5. Number 6, lighting and positioning. Number 6, lighting and positioning. Wow, it is very important to really know your lighting. It is it is a key to find ways or to learn how natural light works. But during a studio session, it is also very important to know how you would be able to light your subject so it will turn out flattering for her or for him, for your subject itself. That's why it is important also to clarify the expectations during that consultation session that you sit before prior to shoot. You would know what kind of, is it high key, is it low key, are they looking for a normal portrait, are they looking for a window lighting portrait, some sort of like that, an outdoor portrait or an indoor studio controlled environment. Things like this you should know prior, so you would be able to have that mental preparation in your head what you're going to do during the session. You will prepare bits and pieces of how you would maneuver your equipment so that you would know which one to start with. Are you going to start with the hard part first and slowly go down to a single light? Lighting and positioning, very important to consider. Sitting people down. When you sit down a person, when standing up, they have to think of their weight on, they have to think of standing on their 2 feet. Sometimes it is, sometimes clients are very comfortable standing up, but they can relax more and think less, less of an effort when they're sitting down. I think sitting down the client also works when it comes to posture, but I prefer them really to be standing up unless they're very tall. If they're very tall, then you will definitely need, because I'm not a tall guy, so definitely I would need an apple box to stand on. I will adjust my tripod as necessary. When you're sitting down a person, then they will be also relaxed, they will feel comfortable, especially when your chair is really, is a comfortable chair to sit on. You will have like variations of poses, unless try to avoid the toilet seat pose. You know what I mean? The toilet seat pose. How you sit down on the toilet, try to avoid that shot, because I see that normally with amateur photographers, sometimes experienced photographers, even the photographer himself sit down like that, which is, for me, it's a no-no, and it's a very embarrassing way to pose for your portrait, especially on a headshot. Toilet seat pose, try to avoid that. Number 8, it's all about little adjustments. It's all about little adjustments. Number 8, it's a matter of inches. Photography is a game of inches. Sometimes when when you put your head down like this, it makes a difference when you lift it up an inch. Sometimes having the 45-degree angle, it's better to face the camera, depending on the shape, elongation of the nose, the shape of the neck. You don't want to shoot like that. 2 inches difference, you do this, suddenly the double chin disappears. Some minor changes that you can create, or you would be able to observe from the client during the first few minutes of the session. You can create something, or you can observe something, and you can discuss it together with the client and see how it is, and explain them that you can, use this technique or use this knowledge so that you would be able to avoid certain angles that will not look flattering, or certain angles that will look flattering, to consider doing it during the rest of the session. Having an awareness on those small adjustments really helps. So number 9, keep talking and be positive. It is very vulnerable in front of the camera. Sometimes professional photographer or professional models will ask feedback from the photographer itself. You need to be honest with them in a sense, but that you are looking at the lighting. Don't worry about it first. Let me just check the lighting, how it works on your face. Then we will go how your expressions are. Because you need to update your client, or you need to update the subject and make them very comfortable. Try to be more appreciative, or try to be more positive when it comes to reinforcing that rapport with your client. Reinforcing rapport with client is staying positive with them. If you say, no, I don't like what you're doing, suddenly that bad energy will go to your client, and they feel that they did something wrong. Try to say, yeah, that's nice, but do this. Try to do this, add this thing, add, put if you tell them, put your hand like this, or put your hand somewhere, or hold your hair or something like this, the instructions that you can give them. And if you don't like them, say, never ever say no. Don't do that. Try to have, or try to enforce positivity with your clients, so that they will be able to be comfortable, on the session itself. And number 10, last but not the least, shoot tethered. Shooting tethered really helps a lot, especially when your client, to avoid your client coming and going to your camera and looking at the image. It's very important to see instantly how they look like when you're shooting tethered. It helps a lot, but not, sometimes not all the time, because it slows down the process depending on how powerful your computer is also. But nowadays it is very important to shoot tethered. So in the beginning, or the first part of the shoot, they will gauge, or they will, your client will have a gauge how they look like on the photograph, so that they will know what poses they can give you, especially if they're a professional model. It also helps having, or placing a full-size mirror next to your camera, so they will know what angle, what is best, depending on the style of the hair, depending on the accessories that they're wearing, what to show on the camera. So there you have it. Thank you very much for listening to this session. If you find the session interesting, please be generous with your likes and subscribe to our channel, and keep on shooting, and have a great day. Cheers.